30 ईयर्स से आप इंडिया की सेवा कर रहे हैं, मे बी मोर, बट आपकी शुरुआत एज अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हुई, हम अभी बात कर रहे थे, एंड यू बिलोंग टू अ मिडिल क्लास फैमिली.
I was involved in about more than 150 NGOs. So that way I was quite, in a sense, involved with so many social causes of variety of things. Then I became chairman of the largest cooperative bank, youngest ever. So in a sense, the people were curious. How can this boy who looks like just out of college or even still studying in college can be the chairman of the largest cooperative bank? I was a Lok Sabha MP. The day I became Lok Sabha MP, I was a cabinet minister, not minister of state.
Correct.
I was never so cabinet minister straight away. I was the youngest cabinet minister at that time when I became one. Subsequently, of course, many more have become. So that was very strange and I would say divine intervention, and also the greatness of the leaders.
बट ये मुझे एज अ पर्सनली क्यूरोसिटी होती है एज अ स्टूडेंट ऑफ इंडिया. हाउ फार आर वी फ्रॉम बिकमिंग करप्शन फ्री?
See, corruption is.
आज बियॉन्ड बिलेबल्स के लिए बहुत ही अच्छा दिन है, बिकॉज वी आर हैविंग अ वेरी डिस्टिंग्विश्ड गेस्ट. ही इज़ नन अदर देन सुरेश प्रभु. ये एपिसोड एक कहानी है कि एक मिडिल क्लास पर्सन जो कि चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट था, goes on to become one of the most reform-making ministers of our times. He's held about 10 important cabinet positions, 6 times MP, educationist, and a board member of various initiatives in India. ये मुझे मालूम ही नहीं है इनमें इतनी एनर्जी आती कैसे है, बट अगर आप जानना चाहोगे देन डू वॉच दिस एपिसोड. एंड इस एपिसोड में आपको वो पर्सनल स्टोरी सुनने को मिलेगी जो कहीं पे भी आपको सुनने को नहीं मिलेगी, एंड डायरेक्टली फ्रॉम हिम. ये एपिसोड इसलिए स्पेशल है बिकॉज इस एपिसोड से हम ये बताना चाह रहे हैं लोगों को कि इंडिया के फ्यूचर लीडर्स फ्यूचर रेडी होने के लिए क्या क्या क्वालिटीज़ चाहते हैं. सो इफ़ you've loved us, continue to love us, watch Beyond Billables, subscribe and share, and as always, keep giving us your love. सुरेश जी, 30 ईयर्स से आप इंडिया की सेवा कर रहे हैं, मे बी मोर, बट आपकी शुरुआत एज अ चार्टर्ड अकाउंटेंट हुई, हम अभी बात कर रहे थे, एंड यू बिलोंग टू अ मिडिल क्लास फैमिली. पॉलिटिक्स में कैसे पहुंचे, कैसी जर्नी शुरू हुई?
To be very, very honest with you, I never planned to be in politics because none of my family members, even remotely, had anything to do with politics. But I was always interested in politics. In a sense, I was aware about what's happening. So I used to attend public meetings of all the big leaders like Vajpayee ji, George Fernandez, Advani ji, and many others, Jayaprakash Narayan. Because during, just before emergency, I had launched a program called Total Revolution. It was a very interesting idea because he was fighting against corruption. And he said, India now needs total revolution. Sampurna Kranti. That
Sampurna
was
Kranti, total revolution.
It was his vision. That actually led to emergency in a sense. He mobilized so many people. Around the same time, George Fernandez Saab was a president of All India Federation of Railwaymen. So उसमें उन्होंने ARF, उन्होंने कॉल दिया चक्का बंद. So first time in India's history, probably, entire railway system was closed. Incidentally, I became railway minister later.
Correct.
He also became railway minister, George Saab. Lekin, so I used to attend meetings of all these big leaders. I used to listen to them. There was Sripad Amru Dange, who was the founder of Communist Party of India. If not a founder, but a big leader, co-founder maybe. And also, so it has nothing to do with ideology. Shiv Sena, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, George Fernandez, socialist.
आपको अच्छा लगता था वहाँ पे?
Communist. Jayaprakash Narayan ji was not in politics technically at that time because he had devoted his entire life to Sarvodaya movement. So I used to attend all these programs, but I was not in politics or never interested to be playing any active role in politics, though as a student of politics. So I was invited by Mr. Thackeray when I was practicing as a chartered accountant. I had gone on a professional assignment to Indonesia, where I got a call that through my wife, they got my hotel number because there was no mobile. So they got my
So this is which year?
96.
96.
So 95. And so I got a call and then they told me, you come and you have to run Lok Sabha election. अभी कॉर्पोरेटर का इलेक्शन भी नहीं लड़ा, विधानसभा का भी नहीं लड़ा,
सीधा
लोकसभा का इलेक्शन कहाँ लड़ेंगे. So I told him I cannot, because whatever I'm from a middle class family and I don't have any money, black money, एक रुपया भी नहीं है, और whatever I earn, it's like my life saving. Because
my hard work.
Hard work. So they said, no, we'll not ask you to spend any money. Party will spend for it. So actually, I won 4 Lok Sabha elections. After that, I never spent 1 rupee from my. I never, actually, luckily, I never took money or gave money in politics, either for getting ticket or for contesting elections, or subsequent to that, to so-called servicing the constituency. I never paid money. I didn't have actually, and so it was. I was called into politics. So it was actually virtually a completely reversal of what is happening today. That you run after seats, run after getting nomination. कुछ भी नहीं तो कम से कम कहीं कॉर्पोरेशन का कहीं बना दीजिए. Yeah, this is what is today's common practice. So unlike that, I was invited to join. I won an election. That of course speaks for the leaders also. So Mr. Balasaheb Thackeray, who called me, because I was not in his party. So he called me. Then Modi ji, when he made me a railway minister, I was not in BJP. So I was not in both the parties when they called me. So this is the greatness of those leaders, either Balasaheb Thackeray, Atal Bihari Vajpayee, who actually made me minister when I resigned as a power minister for strange reason, because I never refused to compromise. So Atal Bihari Vajpayee made me a minister after that. And then, so this was amazing. I mean, so those leaders were amazing leaders, including Mr. Modi. Prime Minister Modi is, outstanding. Honestly, I'm not saying because he's the Prime Minister today. I'm looking at it very objectively, and I'm saying this with utmost responsibility. That it was very lucky. I was very fortunate to be blessed, supported, and also encouraged by such great leaders. So this is today's life. I mean, this is unbelievable. Nobody can ever really accept this possibility that something like this can ever happen. It's stranger than fiction.
मुझे तो लग रहा है इट्स अ ब्लेसिंग इन डिस्गाइज. बट आपने कभी सोचा पीछे जाके कि आपको शिवसेना में इनवाइट आया कैसे?
नहीं, क्या है ना, एक्चुअली सी there's a probably. But the thing is that I was involved with about more than 150 NGOs. So that way I was quite, in a sense, involved with so many social causes of variety of things. Then I became chairman of the largest cooperative bank, youngest ever. So in a sense, the people were curious. How can this boy who looks like just out of college or even still studying in college can be the chairman of the largest cooperative bank? How can he be playing active role into several NGOs, right from art, culture, science, sports, medicine, healthcare, education. I was involved with all. Not all, many. And therefore, it probably was in a society, there was like acceptance that is the person who actually... So, that probably could be the reason. But of course, again, as I'm saying, what he told me was that the constituency where I won the election, it's called, that time it used to be called Rajapur, today it's called Sindhudurga Ratnagiri. So that constituency had elected some veterans. Like one of the best parliamentarians ever probably was Mr. Nath Pai. He was a barrister actually, like your profession. And he was considered Jawaharlal Nehru, and he was in opposition. He was from Socialist Party. So Jawaharlal Nehru used to always encourage, one of the top parliamentarian, barrister. So he had won from there 5 times. And he had an untimely death in 1971. And then Mr. Madhu Dandaute, again a great stalwart Socialist Party leader. Both were fine parliamentarians. In addition to that, very good human beings. I didn't have much contact with Nath Pai because I was very young that time. But with Mr. Dandaute, I had very good relation. He used to come to a house. So both were great. So Mr. Thackeray's idea was that this is the constituency which has elected consistently for last at least 10 consecutive times people like Mr. Nathpai and Professor Madhu Dandaote. So the people in that area would like to have someone like you, that's what he told me, who is not a typical politician, but who has so much of connect with the people and who has such a versatility of so many areas you wander very seamlessly, effortlessly. And therefore, I think you will be the right candidate to win the election. And that's what actually proved to be right. So I won that election immediately. And the day I joined politics, I was a Lok Sabha MP. The day I became Lok Sabha MP, I was a cabinet minister, not Minister of State.
Correct.
I was never so cabinet minister straight away. I was the youngest cabinet minister at that time when I became one. Subsequently, of course, many more have become. So that was very strange and I would say divine intervention. And also the greatness of the leaders. That's what made it happen.
वाओ, आपने अभी बोला आप टिपिकल पॉलिटिशियन नहीं थे एंड मास पॉलिटिशियन नहीं थे, आपको एक रिफॉर्मिस्ट की तरह भी देखा जाता है एंड आई थिंक आप भी अपने आप को एक रिफॉर्मिस्ट पॉलिटिशियन के हिसाब से देखते हैं. तो आपके टेन्योर में एंड आई नो आपने बहुत सारी मिनिस्ट्रीज होल्ड की है, कोई ऐसे रिफॉर्म्स जिसमें आपको बहुत कन्विक्शन थी एंड आज आपको लग रहा है कि इट्स रियली मेड अ डिफरेंस इन इंडिया?
There are many, but because I don't want to, because of limited time podcast, so I don't want to talk about all, but just take one. I was a Minister of Power. Mr. Vajpayee made me a Minister of Power, again invited because those days there was a coalition government. Portfolios used to be decided by the party. So I was in Shiv Sena. So before that I was Industry Minister, Environment, Forest, Chemicals and Fertilizer. So those were the portfolios which were like party portfolios. But this was not power was not, that was with BJP. Mr. Ranganath Kumar Mangalam was a Minister of Power before me. He was again senior leader. So Mr. Vajpayee said this is a very challenging time for India. And without power, nothing will grow. Manufacturing, services, agriculture, all depend on power. Modern life goes on only because of electricity. And we had 18% peak level shortage. 18%.
Wow.
The distribution company, I mean, there was one company called State Electricity Board because we had nationalized all the business of electricity in 1948. So they were all integrated state-owned monopolies. So he said they are running into huge losses. So they don't have money to put up extra power. Power sector is losing money, so it is not bankable. So private sector cannot come because the Electricity Act had nationalized the power sector. And the Act does not allow private sector to come in.
Correct.
So it's a very unique situation. Like in Marathi, there is a saying that in house कुछ खाना ही नहीं है, तो बाप बोलता है भीख नहीं मांगना क्योंकि हमारे पूरे फैमिली की इज्जत चली जाएगी. वो माँ कहते मैं खाने के लिए देने के लिए पैसा ही कुछ भी नहीं है तो खाना कैसे दूँ. सो चाइल्ड की जो सिचुएशन की बाप भीख नहीं मांग दे रहा है और माँ खाना देने की स्थिति में नहीं है.
इसको मराठी में कैसे बोलेंगे? इसको मराठी में कैसे बोलेंगे?
उसको कहते हैं कि बाप भीक मागणे नाही, बाप भीक मागायला देत नाही आणि माँ यानी मदर माँ यानी आई बोलते मराठी में, आई खाना नहीं दे रही है तो ऐसे बोलते. सो ये it was a typical situation like that in power sector. The father was not allowed to beg, means there is no way that you could get it. And the power sector itself was bankrupt, so no capacity. So I introduced many, many steps. Actually, that's one thing. That's why actually I'm getting a Lifetime Achievement Award soon. There's a magazine called Power Line, which is the industry-led magazine, one of the most respected one. They did a survey recently of only the CEOs of power sector and the experts in power sector. It was not the paid survey. It was a real survey. And
people who know this.
They gave me this best power minister in the because we did a lot of things at that time. We actually made sure that power sector will become bankable. So we actually revamped the entire district. We created 3 entities, unlike the integrated power utilities. Discom, distribution companies, transmission company and generation company separate. We call it short Gencos, Transcos and Discoms. And all of them had to then, we actually introduce accounting system. There was as a chartered accountant, you asked me, I'm a chartered accountant. So there was a chief accountant who was an engineer. So engineer was a chief accountant in the power sector. So just imagine. So he can do finance engineering, of course.
Correct.
But this was our situation. So we had to do right from manpower, human resource, to technological. So I actually introduced a concept of how do you bring every distribution circle in India, how can that become profitable? I also introduced a concept of how can every distribution transformer become profitable. If every distribution transformer become profitable, how can DISCOM lose money? It cannot.
Correct.
So we actually did all that. Then I introduced a law, which was the landmark law, Electricity Act, which actually made this possible. In addition to that, we allowed private sector to come in. I delicensed entire power generation. Because stupidity to have license for power generation when there is no capacity. Let anybody come and put up power generation. That also stopped malpractices because everybody would try to do something wrong
to get the license
and have to get license. So we delicensed it. And now the result of that, we became power surplus. So if you look at reforming the entire one sector from top to bottom, and mind you, that was a state subject. So I had to convince all the state governments. I talked to all political parties. I had 1,500 roadshows in India to make it happen. And the result is very clear. We also introduced, so it was legislative law, but it was also administrative, as I told you, human resource. It was also technological, as I said, make every distribution transformer profitable by introducing technology. So it was also financial. So we did complete financial engineering. We cleaned the balance sheet of all the companies. We introduced a new concept. If state don't pay, then we'll draw that money from central devolution, which goes to the state government. So that was a preventive step, and we never had to use that ever. It's like a nuclear power, nuclear weapon. If you're deterrent, you don't have to use it because people know he has a nuclear. If you're carrying gun in your pocket, I will not like to venture to come and rob you because you can take out a gun. So that's a deterrent.
Correct.
You don't have to use the gun, but carrying gun is a deterrent. So we use that as a system. And then we also introduced energy efficiency law. I introduced in the parliament. That law actually has improved energy efficiency to such an extent. There used to be a time when energy intensity per GDP was more than 1. Now it has come less than 0.7. So just that much improvement. So we now, for producing 1 unit of GDP, we use probably 30% less energy than what we were using earlier. And it is also at homes, your air conditioners, your fridge, your multiple appliances that you use with electricity. Because of energy efficiency law, you have to make sure that they are energy efficient. So you run refrigerator
with those
30 years ago, and now you use far less electricity. Your air conditioner now than what you were using 25 years ago, you'll use much, much less electricity. So all of that happened because of Electricity Act, energy efficiency law. So many things. Then I created Bureau of Energy Efficiency to monitor all this. So it's administrative. So many, many things I did. So this is one sectoral reform. And then you can see the result today. From there, we became power supply. Of course, we have to continue to do reform. Reform is not one-time event. कि मैंने बैटिंग करके आया, अभी मैं आराम से पैविलियन में सो जाऊंगा. तो मैच जितनी है ना, बैटिंग एक टाइम किया, सेंचुरी किया, वो दैट इज नॉट अ एंड ऑफ इट. यू आर प्लेइंग अ मैच फॉर विनिंग इट. सो इट्स नॉट ऑफ जस्ट वन इनिंग एंड वन play or one player.
Play करके आप वापस आ गए.
No, it's every day. So it has to be, reform has to be a continuous process.
And today, sir, when you say कि we are a power surplus nation, is it a general average or there are some pockets of the country where there is still power deficit today?
See, I'm talking about nationally, there's a 18% power deficit, 18% nationally. So that time every state had a problem. Now today, we added capacity of almost 4 times more than what it was. Because it came in because of private sector participation. More than $300 billion of US dollars of investment came in. That created more capacity. Today you'll see in Delhi, Actually, Delhi was one, Delhi like Vidyut Board, Jal Board and Vidyut both थे.
Vidyut board, correct.
तो वहाँ 52% ट्रांसमिशन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन लॉसेस थे दिल्ली में. क्या रीज़न क्या है? सो ये पूरा देन टाटाज ने लिया, एक रिलायंस ने लिया. टाटा ने तो काफ़ी अच्छा, तो ट्रांसमिशन डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन लॉसेस केम टू लेस देन single digit. They came to single digit. That shows that that's because there are some technical losses. Because what happens is when you generate electricity, you generate at a very high voltage. Not as a high voltage as it should be, but when you transmit it from far away place to the
There's a loss
distribution.
in transmission.
So therefore, there is a one is to step up transformers to actually take that power to other level. Then there are step down transformers. So that transformation itself loses power. So there's some technical loss. But actually, it should not be more. And now it is happening in case of Delhi. So it actually improved. Now, as you ask me, you are right. Because we have to keep doing it state by state, we have to make. So there could be certainly the pockets of that. But now electricity, if has reached more or less all the homes. Because that was a program, Power for All, we had program. But how do you, that's what I was asking my officers. How can you give power to all when there is no power available? पहले पावर तो जनरेट करो, देन सबको ही बात करो ना. खाने के लिए घर में कुछ भी नहीं है और आप 10 मेहमानों को और बुला, आइए खाने को, आइए भाई आइए खाइए. अरे बाप, खुद को खाने के कुछ भी नहीं है तो सबको खाना कहाँ से दिलाएंगे? तो इसके लिए ये जनरेट करना चाहिए था. इसके लिए दैट हैपेंड. स्टिल देयर कुड बी सम पॉकेट, श्योर देयर विल बी, बट दैट इज अ स्टेट सब्जेक्ट इन अ सेंस. Locally, you have to address that, but nationally, we could create that complete regime in which we could create a surplus power.
एक सेंट्रल सब्जेक्ट के बारे में बात करना चाहूँगा. आपने भी, आप भी आए थे एक मास्क पहन के. आप भी, जब आप व्हेन आई मेट यू, भी एक मास्क पहना हुआ था हम सब ने. एंड यू हेल्ड द एनवायरनमेंट पोर्टफोलियो एज वेल. एंड आई डोंट हैव टू ब्रीफ यू कि दिल्ली की एंड आसपास की क्या सिचुएशन है. बट व्हाट कैन वी डू डिफरेंट?
See, I'll tell you, when I was Minister of Environment in 1998, there was a PIL. So that was by Mr. Agarwal, Professor Agarwal. He was a brilliant IIT engineer. He was suffering by lung disease. And he realized it is because of air quality. So he went to Supreme Court. He was the founder of this Center for Science and Environment, which is today handled very competently by Sunita Narayan. So that led to Supreme Court also intervening, and then we were also concerned. We didn't have these air quality monitoring stations as we have many places. So you know AQI word has become very popular. So you know AQI, Air Quality Index, that started during that time. And that time, when I was minister, we had a very worrying situation. कि 100 के आसपास AQI जा रहा है. क्या करेंगे? Today is cross 500 in all parts of Delhi. So the causes are very well known. So we know why it is there. So one is construction, one is burning of stubble, but that's not very large, but still. Then transportation. So the kind of fuel. So we had actually taken a lot of steps that time. We had increased sulfur content in diesel to less than 0.5. Now it must be even less. So we had done all that at that time. Then the metro had not come that time. So metro came much later. So I was hoping that public transport, so that means fewer vehicles on the road, improved fuel. Then we started LNG that time, CNG. We started CNG at that time. So all of that. But today's situation is so alarming. I think it's a absolutely worrying thing. I honestly, I lived in Delhi for 30 years because I was in Parliament for many years, 6 times. So now, when I come to Delhi, somehow immediately I get, that's why I was eating one for my lozenges.
Correct.
So I get all this, so it's a very serious situation. I think how many people, and we have made studies, the relationship between air quality and health. During COVID, which came much later, 2020, those who suffered during COVID, they have lung problems. And some of them are now facing real life situations that they might pass away because of that. People are dying because of that. So just imagine, if that can cause that, the continuous inhaling of toxic air like this, how much many people will be dying. There is a relationship between public health and air quality.
Absolutely.
So now we have to work on, obviously we need more hospitals, more healthcare centers, but also we must on improve air quality, and that is possible. It's not any magic science that we cannot work on it. China could improve the air quality. Actually, Beijing used to be as polluted as Delhi was.
True.
And today the air quality has come below 50 AQI.
Yeah. तो इसी में मेरा एक radical question था, and it's a unreasonable request because I see my parents, my own nephew, other senior citizens are also there जो suffer कर रहे हैं. अगर हमारी आज की डेट में ख्वाहिश है that we want AQI of Delhi to reach 20, hypothetical figure, उसके लिए as citizens, as government institutions, collectively हम क्या कर सकते हैं?
As I told you, it is not one bullet solution. There is no one silver bullet for this. You have to work on multiple issues. Like for example, construction. It will continue to go, but you must make sure that the dust doesn't leave the place of construction. You must make sure the dust settles down there itself. Transportation. Now we have to really have these old vehicles or the vehicles which are emission. We have PUC, Pollution Under Control Certificate. And probably those vehicles who carries that PUC are probably emitting more than others.
Correct.
So that's strict implementation of that. That's second. Stubble burning, there is a very simple solution. When you burn the stubble after the harvesting is over, what happened after harvesting in Haryana, in Punjab? All of that is procured by public procurement system because of the minimum support price that we give it to them. That means there is a supply chain already existing.
Correct.
From the field to the government depots.
Yeah.
Why cannot use the same supply chain, and after harvesting, because there is nothing procurement left, you procure that and give them minimum support price. Then automatically there is no burning which will happen. And if you buy that, what you will do with that? You give it to those who are running the bioenergy plants. They need that. That's a fuel for them. That's they need that as a raw material. It's a feedstock. So you can actually make it happen. So that will be another one. So construction, you can do this related to that. Then again, what happens in Delhi? See, the air is not controlled by any barriers. It flows. It will come, it depends on the wind direction. It will come to Delhi from even Pakistan.
Correct.
Because it's just, or it can come from Punjab, it can come Haryana, it can come from UP. So you also must take those steps there. It is not that Delhi alone can actually do it and Delhi can get out of it. You must ensure there is an integrated plan. Depending upon the flow of air and from which state it is coming, you take steps there also. So if you take this integrated action, I am sure you can improve the quality of air. It will not happen tomorrow. Yeah. But if you start today, it will happen. If not tomorrow, it will day after tomorrow.
Yeah. Thank you so much, sir, for this insight, because जो भी हमें सुन रहे हैं, hopefully some of these solutions can be implemented. But मैं अब आपसे एक personal सवाल पूछना चाह रहा था. I was going through your very, very detailed profile. मुझे पढ़ के बहुत अच्छा लगा कि आपने काम इतना सारा किया है. थोड़ा ओवरवेल्ड भी हो गया कि एक इंसान इतना सब कैसे कर सकता है एक लाइफ टाइम में. तो मैं पूछना चाह रहा था आपसे, आपका कोई इंटरनल डिसिप्लिन है जिसकी वजह से आपने इतनी मिनिस्ट्रीज होल्ड की हैं, आप इतने बोर्ड्स में हैं, कमिटीज़ में हैं, एंड यू आर स्टिल लाइक गोइंग ऑन एंड ऑन. क्या सीक्रेट है इसकी?
देखिए, ऑनेस्टली इसमें कोई सीक्रेट नहीं है. ह्यूमन बीइंग्स हैव अ लिमिटेड एबिलिटी. अनलिमिटेड भी है, but unlimited not to an extent that is truly unlimited. It is you never use it because
full potential.
आपका इंस्टॉल कैपेसिटी क्या आपको ही मालूम नहीं है. इंस्टॉल कैपेसिटी से आगे नहीं कुछ कर सकते. लेकिन इंस्टॉल कैपेसिटी में जाने के लिए भी इंस्टॉल कैपेसिटी को यूटिलाइज फुल नहीं करना पड़ेगा. वो तो इंस्टॉल हर ह्यूमन बीइंग में बहुत है, and that we don't utilize fully. So that's one part. So if you start working on your own self, you realize your own inherent talent and capacity, and you can use that. But that's not the only reason why I could do so much. It is because of divine intervention. It's actually human beings have limited abilities. It's a divinity which makes it happen. That they keep you there, they use it as an instrument. So if I think I have done it, that is my arrogance, my own ego, which makes me to say that. So these are all divine blessings that they chose me to be an instrument to do all this. So I'm thankful to that. But also one thing I always believe in is that I have multiple interests. I'm not just one thing. So I read a lot. I like fiction. I like serious reading. So that's one. I like music. My wife, she's a Sangeet Vishara. So she studied for almost a decade. She knows all the ragas. So I know only one rag. Marathi rag means गुस्सा आते तो राग बोलते. मेरे को वही राग आता है. गुस्सा आता है. बाकी कुछ राग नहीं आते. लेकिन उसको तो बहुत she knows almost all. But I like music. So I'll not be able to distinguish between ये राग कौन सा है वो राग कौन सा है. लेकिन I like music. वो लोग बोलते हैं ना तानसेन लेकिन कानसेन है. So like I understand music. So I have multiple interests. And again, I have complete faith in my Guru, my God, and my ancestors' blessings. So I have complete faith in all of that. So I personally feel, and of course my parents, it was impossible. My father taught me so many things which I couldn't have never studied in any school or college.
जैसे कोई example बताएं.
By his own behavior, he said, believe in yourself, don't do anything wrong. Because this is all honesty is the best policy. बोलते बाहर जाके देखते तो dishonesty पे ये सब चलता है. This is a factual problem. कि घर में आपको बोलता है टीचर इज टेलिंग यू ऑनेस्ट इज बेस्ट पॉलिसी. बाहर देंगे तो पॉलिसी चलती ही नहीं. पॉलिसी बोलते हैं पॉलिसी चलेगी नहीं आपकी, आप जाइए. सो माय फादर ऑलवेज सेड कि डोंट गो बाय ऑल दैट. बिलीव इन योर ओन सेल्फ, योर ओन वैल्यू सिस्टम, व्हिच ही टॉट मी. My mother gave me such an abundant love. My grandmother also. My grandmother was, in fact, till my grandmother I was closer to my grandmother, my father's mother, than my own mother. And my grandmother had become widow. When my father was probably few days old. And that woman who became widow at that time, there was marriage used to be at a very young age. Maybe, I don't know, 17, 18, she must have become a widow. But she was full of love. I can't understand this. A person who has never enjoyed her own life can be so much
abundance
giver and with so much of. She never had any complaints. She never said, hey, because normally it's said, that somebody who suffers personal agony, personal disasters like this would always say कि इसका भी बुरा होने दो. She would always say कि आप सबका अच्छा होना चाहिए. And she taught me that. She said, always wish well for others. If you cannot don't harm anybody. If you cannot help somebody, it's okay, but don't harm anybody. Which I followed. In my political life of 30 years, I handled 11 cabinet positions. I can tell you very confidently and swearing on my heart, I never harmed anybody deliberately. Wow. Never blackmailed anybody, never harmed anybody, never fleeced anybody, never. So I have tried to help as many people as possible. But that I could have done maybe less. But not harm, I can say with confidence. So this was the value system. My parents, my grandmother, I never saw my grandfather because they said he passed away very young. So, but this was a kind of training I got at home. And they gave me so much of losses. They never gave me too much money. They never gave me money. First time I went to a restaurant, must be after I went to college. So that also I had to request my mother. She said, why you want to go to restaurant? My grandmother would tell me, what do you want to go to restaurant? Tell me, I will make it home for you.
ये हमारे घर पे भी होता था. पिज्जा खाना, पिज्जा बन जाएगा.
वो क्या चाहिए आपको बोलो, क्या चाहिए मैं बताती हूँ. So when I got a rank in CA, I said my friends बोलते थे मेरे को पार्टी दो. तो मैं told my at home, my mother and my grandmother said, कितने लोग हैं, सबको घर बुलाओ, सबके लिए खाना मैं बनाऊंगा, हम बनाएंगे दोनों. So this was a kind of.
आपका शायद रैंक 11th या 10th.
हाँ जी.
आपका CA का I think रैंक 11th या 10th था.
I was lucky. I was fortunate. Again, I'm honestly telling you, I was never studied, and I don't know. I got LLB without studying. वो सब भगवान की दुआ होती है. मैं honestly, I'm telling you, my whole life, I experienced the hand of God in everything.
कोई एक एग्जाम्पल बताएंगे? बिकॉज आई नो वॉट यूर सिंग सर, मुझे पता है हैंड ऑफ गॉड एंड डिवाइन इंटरवेंशन, बट कोई एक उदाहरण आपकी लाइफ में कि ये आपने देखा और महसूस किया एंड बोला ये तो और कोई तरीका ही नहीं है कि कैसे हो सकता था except God?
आप देखिए ना, द वेरी फैक्ट दैट आई कुड कम टू पॉलिटिक्स विदाउट एनी बैकग्राउंड, दैट itself is divinity. I got married, my wife of now, we are married for 42 years.
Wow.
So she came virtually into my office. She was a journalist. I was not in politics that time. I was my CA office. She came to interview me. And we had hardly met for 2-3 times. And I told her, let's get married.
ऐसे ही हमने
So she said, I have to think. So मैंने बोला कि आप think करेंगे तो ना बोलोगी. So इसके लिए now you must agree just now. So I forced her. So it's a forced marriage actually. So
तो आपके lawyering skills भी आ गए.
She changed again after my parents. She's the other person. Besides my guru, my divinity God, she's the other person who changed my life completely by her own example. So all this is divine because she, just imagine, the wife to be walks into your office and she didn't know anything about me.
आपको कैसे पता चला कि मुझे इनसे शादी करनी है? चलो उनको तो आपने फोर्स करवा लिया.
Somewhere I felt from within, and of course my guru's blessing that it happened. Actually, her parents also didn't know anything about me. So they asked her, what do you know about him? She said, no, I don't just see it. So they said, what are your parents? She said, I don't know. Where he stays, I don't know. What is his income? She said, I don't know. Then they finally, in exasperation, they asked her, is he married? She said, I don't know. So, and then I couldn't have got a better life partner.
Wow.
So this is one. So this is all divine. So you cannot plan it like this. So it's no best of the plan, no best consultant can advise you how to make this lifespan and plan and plan.
Like this. And आप अपने mentors के बारे में भी बात करते हैं and I see you draw a lot of inspiration from वाजपेयी जी and even मोदी जी. तो ऐसी आपको क्या quality उनमें दिखती है जो अपने में भी resonate होता है कि this is something that, let's say, मैं इसको different way में पूछना चाहूँगा. आज की डेट में जो भी current leaders आ रहे हैं, the new brass of leaders which will come up, what are the 3-4 good qualities they should exhibit?
See, I'll tell you
to lead the nation.
See, Atalji and Modi ji both hugely believe in development of the country, nationalists, completely. But with a worldview. Without a doubt. But with worldview, the nationalism doesn't mean that you have to preclude the rest of the world from your thinking. They had that ability. Atalji was the first Prime Minister. He was the Foreign Minister in 1977. His first ministerial responsibility, though he was in Parliament for donkey's years, was External Affairs Minister. Modi ji and Atalji both had, if you take the heart like you say, Hanuman के हार्ट में आपको
ये खोल के देखो
राम दिखेंगे, तो हम दोनों के हार्ट में देश प्रेमी दिखेगा. लेकिन उसके बावजूद कि वो देश प्रेमी है, उनको मालूम है देश प्रेम को ही बढ़ाने के लिए पूरे विश्व के साथ में भी संबंध बनाने चाहिए. So they are not nationalists by excluding the rest of the world. So they had a proper worldview, get best of the practices from India. Both believe in that, and I work closely with both of them. Modi ji has taken Vajpayee's legacy to a new level. Vajpayee started connectivity with roads. He had a Sagarmala to connect ports. Modi ji has taken that all to a completely different level, multiplied it, and also expanded the vision of India. He is the one who understands the implementation part of the government program. So, because he was the CM for 15 years of Gujarat, he understands the cutting edge problems. What is the last mile issues? He understands better than anybody else. So, his programs are all not on paper. They are implemented on ground. So, he's the one, when he's preparing a program, and he prepares many programs, many schemes, many new ideas, he will think about how that program will be finally implemented. And what are the challenges that will come in implementation? So, you would have factored that into this. So, it's a amazing ability. And he understands, he is an extraordinary person. I'm not saying because he's a Prime Minister. I know him from 1998.
As a person, individual की बात कर रहे हैं.
Amazing. And he's a very genuine human being. वो पॉलिटिक्स में उनको गालियाँ सुननी पड़ती है, वो ठीक है, वो गालियाँ देने वालों की भी मैं समझता हूँ उनका भी कर्तव्य है कि देना चाहिए गाली,
देना चाहिए।
क्यों भाई आप गाली क्यों दे रहे, नहीं मालूम नहीं, लेकिन विपक्ष में गाली देना पड़ता है, ठीक है। लेकिन ये ही इज द वन हु हैज इनक्रेडिबल एबिलिटी to think through. Like, just imagine people asking question. When what was the economic policy? In fact, in 2014, I'm also involved with the organization called India Foundation. We had organized a program. What will be Prime Minister Modi's economic policy? Because he was that time India's candidate for Prime Minister, but not yet become Prime Minister. In February, election took place in May. We organized in Delhi a program where he spelled out his vision for economy. People then were saying after he became Prime Minister, लेकिन foreign affairs में कैसे करेंगे? He's probably one of the most successful Prime Ministers in both economy as well as in foreign affairs. Besides social issues, infrastructure, transformation, he's the one who took forward this previous ideas of the previous government of digitalization of a magnitude that is unimaginable. Even when you go down and want to buy something on सब्जी आपके पेमेंट पे, वो सब्जी वाली जो है उसके पास भी आज डिजिटल पेमेंट का
यूपीआई इंटरफेस है,
कोई इशू नहीं, पेपल पेमेंट आप कर सकते हैं। ये कभी सोचा भी नहीं था। दैट लेडी मे नॉट नो व्हाट इज, ही कैन नॉट नो द स्पेलिंग ऑफ डिजिटल,
पीछे पीछे क्या हो रहा है,
डिजिटल का नाम भी मालूम नहीं होगा, लेकिन दे ट्रांजैक्टेड। दैट्स अ वेरी यूजर फ्रेंडलीनेस। ये सब सो इज ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव, जो जिसको कह सकते हैं, बहुत अटल जी और मोदी जी ट्रांसफॉर्मेटिव प्राइम मिनिस्टर।
सो देश का प्रेम, वर्ल्ड व्यू अलॉन्ग विद नेशनलिस्ट व्यू। थर्ड आपने बताया इम्प्लीमेंटेशन, वेरी गुड कमांड ऑन एडमिनिस्ट्रेशन। एंड आप फोर्थ बोलेंगे कि लॉट ऑफ हार्ड वर्क।
हार्ड वर्क तो क्या है, देखो ये मोदी जी तो 24 घंटे काम करते कहूँगा तो भी इट्स नॉट अ एग्जैजरेशन। तो ये देयर इज नो सब्स्टिट्यूट फॉर हार्ड वर्क, ये तो कोई सब कुछ मानते हैं। लेकिन हार्ड वर्क alone doesn't work because you have to need brain work. But that again is not sufficient. You need teamwork. That again will not be enough unless you have some very forward-looking ideas. Then again you must also have the ability to do course correction. If you think this is not working, I would take back my action. Like what had happened in case of farm laws.
Yeah.
Of course, there's nothing wrong in farm laws, but people ultimately in democracy have to accept what people feel about it. So he could retreat from that. So that's another great ability.
Wow. Any reforms आप चाहेंगे personally to happen in India, like in the next 3-4 years?
See, actually, we have a long way to go. Honestly, I'm not the one who will say कि we have done a lot, but much more needs to be done. One of the things we should always keep in mind is the per capita income. We are the 5th largest economy with more than $4 trillion of size. Still, per capita income wise, we are very low.
Very low.
So we have to make sure that's my priority number one. Secondly, the quality of life of people. That is very important. Like air, we discuss air about it. We talked about water quality. We discuss about infrastructure. When you have to go,
3 basics.
The congestion on the roads, all of that. And our towns and cities are becoming really deteriorating every day. So quality of life will be important. Again, we have to go by human development indices. That captures most of it. So that again, so per capita income and human development index, it's two must happen at the same time. Employment is another challenge we will be facing in the next few years' time, because now we are already facing, of course, with AI coming in, there will be less jobs. Even more and more digitalization happening.
And I've read Suresh ji also say कि आप ऑल्टरनेटिव अपने लिए एम्प्लॉयमेंट भी जनरेट करो, मोर लाइक एंटरप्रेन्योर्स भी बनो। तो उस पर आपका क्या व्यू था?
एंटरप्रेन्योर बनने के लिए द गवर्नमेंट मस्ट एनकरेज एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप। सी, इंडिया इज अ स्टोरी ऑफ एंटरप्रेन्योरशिप. इंडिया इज नॉट अ स्टोरी ऑफ स्टेट लेड ग्रोथ लाइक चाइना. दिस इज एंटरप्रेन्योरल ग्रोथ. Professionals, technologies, individual small traders, they are the ones who are adding to the growth of India.
MSMEs जो हम बोलते हैं.
MSMEs. So all of them, what they need, they are not asking much from the government. बोलते हैं हमको बहुत तकलीफ नहीं होनी चाहिए. The ease of doing business जिसको कहते हैं, it should happen in a right manner. But all this big names, like big nomenclatures like ease of doing business, it doesn't mean much to people unless they see it every day.
They feel
in
it,
their,
see it.
जो बिजनेस करता हूँ मेरे को तकलीफ नहीं होती, वो होना चाहिए. सो मैंने कहा था वो टाइम, एक टाइम जब मैं कॉमर्स इंडस्ट्री मिनिस्टर था, इट्स नॉट ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस बट वी शुड ब्रिंग प्लीज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस, कि लोगों को ऐसा एंजॉय होना चाहिए कि आई एम एंजॉइंग माई बिजनेस. अभी आप काम पे जाते हैं,
लाइक अ प्लेजर ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस.
प्लेजर ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस. घर में ऑफिस में जाते हैं टेंशन से आप वापस आएंगे, तो उसका मतलब नहीं. आप कॉलेज में जाते हैं पढ़ने के लिए, वो पढ़ने के लिए जाना पड़ता है, इसके लिए जाना चाहिए. तो घर में पिताजी मारेंगे, माँ डांटेगी, इसके लिए जाना पड़ता है. उसका कोई मतलब नहीं. इफ़ यू एंजॉय गोइंग टू स्कूल, इफ़ यू एंजॉय गोइंग टू कॉलेज, इफ़ यू एंजॉय गोइंग टू योर वर्क प्लेस, that is will actually make productivity and even creativity more. For that was I was saying pleasure of doing business, not just ease of doing business.
Ease of doing business. And I've also seen you say many times that you are a lifelong student. And आपका एजुकेशन के साथ बहुत क्लोज इनिशिएटिव भी रहा है. रिसेंटली हर्ड आपने एक यूनिवर्सिटी पे भी आप काम कर रहे हो, बीन द फाउंडिंग चांसलर. तो वो इनिशिएटिव क्या आप थोड़ा सा बताएंगे उस बारे में?
देखिए, फाइनली,
and why education is still important, like
see why education, see you always talk about what is the problem, like even in case of air quality or even in terms of many issues, like अभी आज भी हमारे डाउरी की वजह से लोगों को मरना पड़ता है. सो ये सोशल इश्यूज है, ये चेंज कैसे होंगे? कास्ट सिस्टम भी है, कास्ट में भी लोगों को आज भी डिस्क्रिमिनेशन करना पड़ता है. ये अब नीचे जाति का है, ये ऊपर जाति का, ये नीचे, ये सब माइंड सेट है. सो हाउ डू चेंज द माइंड सेट्स ऑफ पीपल? सोशल इश्यूज, इकोनॉमिक इश्यूज, टेक्नोलॉजिकल इश्यूज, ऑल विल चेंज ओनली व्हेन देयर इज अ change of mindset of people. How do you change the mindset? Only way you can change mindset is education. But then in that case, if you are, that is the objective of education, of changing the mindsets of people, then you cannot only teach them physics and mathematics, or you cannot teach them only geography and history. You have to go beyond that. संस्कार भी करने चाहिए. घर में भी संस्कार होते हैं, लेकिन आप शिक्षा के माध्यम से जो लोगों के दिमाग में बदलाव ला सकते हैं, वो बहुत एंड्योरिंग होता है, सस्टेनेबल होता है.
और वो ट्रू रिफॉर्म है एक्चुअली.
दैट्स द बिगेस्ट रिफॉर्म, बिकॉज यू आर रिफॉर्मिंग एन इंडिविजुअल, एंड थ्रू इंडिविजुअल यू आर रिफॉर्मिंग अ सोसाइटी, एंड इफ सोसाइटी इज रिफॉर्म देन नेशन विल ऑटोमेटिकली डेवलप. सो ये करने के लिए एजुकेशन इज द ओनली फॉर्म. दैट्स व्हाट आई एम सेइंग, एंड बट दैट मीन्स इफ दैट इज द केस एंड दैट इज द ओनली वे इट कैन चेंज, देन वी हैव टू चेंज द एजुकेशन इटसेल्फ. यू कैन नॉट सेम ओल्ड एजुकेशन. एक डिग्री मिल गई, मैं लगा, मेरे ऑफिस में लगा है, घर में लगा है,
और जॉब ढूंढने जा रहे हो,
डिग्री लेके मैं घूम रहा हूँ.
डिग्री का कोई लेना देना
नहीं. ठीक है, आपने डिग्री तो नहीं देखना चाहता, आप बताइए, आपके बारे में बता नहीं पाता हूँ मैं. आई एम अ वेरी क्वालिफाइड पर्सन एंड आई कैन शो माई डिग्री बिकॉज दैट्स व्हाट आई गॉट. बट इफ आई एम आस्क्ड प्रॉपर्ली टू एक्सप्लेन व्हाट आई एम फॉर 10-15 minutes, I cannot do that. Though I am supposed to be educated, what is the purpose of that education? So education has to change in itself first, to change the society and the individual. That is why I think education is the best form of social transformation.
तो शायद इसीलिए आपने नाम यूनिवर्सिटी का ऋषिहुड यूनिवर्सिटी रखा है. उसके पीछे क्या
स्वामी विवेकानंद जी की विजन थी. He had mentioned about ऋषिहुड. He said ऋषि तो होते हैं, लेकिन ऋषिहुड बनना चाहिए. This is like a form of your own living in this particular phase of your life. You should become a ऋषिहुड. That is how that name comes from Swami ji.
तो आप इस यूनिवर्सिटी या इस इनिशिएटिव के थ्रू किस तरीके का चेंज चाह रहे हैं?
नहीं, देखिए, दिस इज टू स्मॉल एन एफर्ट because university at best can have few thousand students. But we have a big challenge because we have 150 crore people in India today.
Yeah.
So, but everybody says कि इससे कुछ नहीं होगा, तो 150 करोड़ लोगों को नहीं होगा, इसके लिए 1 लाख लोगों को भी नहीं करे, 1 लाख को भी नहीं होगा, इसके लिए 1000 को भी नहीं करे, तो कभी होगा ही नहीं. So that's a small beginning. Hopefully this should trigger a much wider change, wider thinking and replication of such ideas. Better ideas. I mean, this is not only ideas. It can be better ideas. But intervention will hopefully improve.
सुनने में आप सीक्रेटली कुछ रूरल डेवलपमेंट भी कर रहे हैं, कुछ some 2000 plus villages का भी ध्यान रख रहे हैं. What is that initiative?
No, this is our idea called Manav Sadhan Vikas Samstha. My wife is the chairperson of that.
Hmm.
So they are doing a number of things, including, of course, typically colleges, institution to hai hai. But more importantly, the idea is how do you make a person responsible for his own life change? So we call it Parivartan Kendra. Very 6-dimensional: physical, intellectual, economic, social, environmental, and spiritual. If you can bring this 6-dimensional development for all women and youth, farmers and fishermen, ex-servicemen, and the sixth one is so if you do this for 6, then farmers, fishermen, youth and women, ex-servicemen and backward classes. So if you do it for all the 6 social groups with 6-dimensional development, then world their own life will change. Otherwise, today the situation, government will give you everything free. You don't do anything. That's not a sustainable model. Because how long government can give? Where is government getting money to give you? It is collecting from you only, from taxes. So एक pocket से लेके दूसरे pocket को दे रहे. It doesn't work properly. That's why we thought we'll try to make it a sustainable model of development.
And how far are we? एक ये last question, then I'll just ask some. एक rapid fire होता है हमारा. But ये मुझे as a personally curiosity होती है as a student of India. How far are we from becoming corruption free?
See, corruption is basically both individual and system. People are corrupt because system is corrupt. That is one possibility. Secondly, system may be good, but people still will be corrupt because that person wants to be corrupt. So both have to happen, change at the same time. Changing person, his value system to be introduced properly, education could be one, and constant value system integration into his mind.
Repeating it.
And then system, you have to change system. Like in case of power sector, I say de-license generation. Reduce corruption. अब लाइसेंस ही नहीं तो पैसे कहाँ से लेने?
इनकम टैक्स में फेसलेस स्क्रूटनी.
So you must work on both at the same time. System change as well as working on individuals who will actually finally run the system. So change both at the same time.
So back in 1990s when you started your political career and now, आपको feel होता है like on a day-to-day basis that corruption has gone down?
Difficult to say because corruption is, I will not face that much for a simple reason is that I'm not doing any economic activity, number one. And for us, normally dealing with the government, etc. I'm very fortunate because most of the officers, they know me. So it's not, maybe I'm not the right person to answer that question, whether it has come down or not. But it's just both system has to change is very important.
आपकी अपनी पर्सनल लाइफ में व्हाट इज देयर इन द बकेट लिस्ट? क्या और करना चाहते हैं आप लाइफ में?
I want to pursue spiritual more and also do more seva than what I've done so far. That is these two main preoccupation.
And spirituality में क्या मतलब?
And meditation, understand, because there is nothing like spirituality में 1 घंटे का कोई जिम कोर्स तो है नहीं कि जाके करके आ गए, ऐसा तो है ही नहीं. So more you do, more you realize what more you have to do. So this is a journey. It's not a destination.
बस हमारा लास्ट सेगमेंट सुरेश जी एक रैपिड फायर होता है. मैं आपसे 4 सवाल पूछूंगा. गोल्डन रूल, जो भी आपके माइंड में पहली चीज़ आ जाए. One book that everyone must read.
Actually, I cannot say one book everybody must read for a reason. I read a lot. So there is not one book I will think about it. So, it's very difficult.
One book that has changed you?
No, I cannot say that. Not one single book or something. Difficult for me to say one single book. It's not really possible. One can say, to be politically correct, I can say Bhagavad Gita padhiye, वो सब ठीक है. But I will not say that. For a reason is, it's difficult to say for one single book which has changed me or could change others.
Maybe 2-3 books अगर आप कोई भी आती है mind पे.
Yeah, I've read many books honestly. So difficult. I have from Marathi to Hindi to English. I keep reading and then I read a lot of translated stuff from other languages. Like Rabindranath Tagore, I read almost all during my life. And that's thanks to my father because he used to buy those books for me, translated into Marathi. So I could read that. So that again has huge, Bengal literature has a huge influence on my mind. Huge. Whether it's spiritual from Ramakrishna Paramahansa, of course, from Vivekananda, because Ramakrishna Paramahansa didn't write much. So I have influence of that, but at the same time, not just that, so many others.
Many others. One mistake that India must avoid in the next decade?
See, we have to be constantly on guard because the self-confidence is good, but actually denying certain reality which is changing around us is very risky. So we have to be constantly on guard. We cannot say I've done and now is enough. It's a long way to go.
Every day doing that process, every day in, day out. एक decision which you are very proud of, could be personal, could be professional.
See, it's not a decision, but what changed my life is my guru who changed my life completely. So that's one thing. Is a spiritual blessing again, because you cannot find a guru. Guru finds you. So this is how it is always the case. So I was fortunate that he chose me to be his disciple.
एंड आपने एक वैल्यू तो बताई थी जो आपको अपने फादर से मिली. कोई एक वैल्यू या लेसन आपको अपनी मदर से मिला?
No, she always told me first, this is all mothers must be telling the children that follow the righteous path in life. But she was leading that path, so I could believe in it. If I tell my son, don't drink, and I'm every day drinking a bottle of some liquor, he will say, kya nonsense baat kar. If I tell my son, don't smoke, and I'm smoking 2-3 pockets a day. So they actually lived the life. They preach what they practice.
One message to the young India. जो भी आपके माइंड में हो, जो भी आपको लगता है इस मीडियम के थ्रू एनर्जी जानी चाहिए.
मैं सबको हमेशा बोलता हूँ, बहुत सारे लोग मेरे को क्वेश्चन पूछते, मैं सबको बोलता हूँ किसी का एडवाइस मत लेना. बेस्ट एडवाइस वन कैन गेट इज फ्रॉम वन्स ओन सेल्फ. बिकॉज somebody else is giving advice is prejudice, because that is coming from his own experiences, his own life. Yours is a different life. It is not the same life you are telling. So you live your life the way your inner mind tells you to do. So the best guide you have in your life is your own inner mind. Follow that.
And how does one connect to the inner mind?
That's the process.
That's the process.
So you cannot, there's no, आपको मॉल में नहीं मिलेगा.
Hopefully ऋषिहुड में मिलेगा.
जोमेटो भी डिलीवर नहीं करेगा.
Hopefully आपके ऋषिहुड यूनिवर्सिटी में मिल जाएगा अभी.
That is one way, but there are many other ways of doing that. But there is one way is you have to go get into your own self.
Thank you so much, Reji. It was a lovely session with you, and thank you once again coming to Beyond Billables. बहुत अच्छा लगा आपने टाइम निकाला इसके लिए. And just want to tell you, it's a big moment for us to have you here. Thank you again.
Thank you.